everybody. How are you today? Today we are going to do a favorite. I think like everything's our favorite, but we are exploring in my classes Southern cuisine, and tomorrow with my classes I'm going to be doing a live demo of some air fried Southern chicken, and I'm going to be making some pimento cheese as well. However, today I kind of wanted to do a dish that I fell in love with pretty much the first time I visited New Orleans. Didn't eat a lot of this growing up, being from the northeast part of the country. Didn't eat a lot of it, but this is jambalaya. So I'm going to do just a quick and simple jambalaya. Well, it's not really quick. It's more of a slow cook dish, but preparation, absolutely, you can space out your preparation. You can do a bunch of different things in order to make it a pretty easy dish to make. So here we go. What I've done right now, and you can see I am bubbling and cooking away right here. And I will tell you that the reason why I did this is because this whole particular process is going to take maybe 45 minutes. Maybe more like an hour, depending on your stove, your oven, and the stuff that you put in. But I wanted to make sure this wasn't like an hour-long video because there'd be a lot of empty spaces in there while we were just waiting for things. So I wanted to go through and do it step by step. There's kind of 3 stages to this, and I wanted to make sure that we were going to put them in order for you so you could do this at home. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do, and I like to think of this as like a one-pot jambalaya. You're gonna need a fairly big skillet, and it's gonna need a lid. Okay, now you can put into your jambalaya whatever you want, but I went ahead and started by sauteing about a pound of andouille sausage in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I also sauteed some chicken thighs in olive oil with the sausage. So this is already pre-cooked. And then I took it out and I separated it, and I wound up doing step 2. That's step 1, is getting your meat cooked. Okay. Step 2 to this jambalaya is going to be doing all the vegetables and getting that the way that you want it to. You want everything to be soft. You're not really going for any color on your vegetables in this particular dish. Okay, so having said that, the vegetables that you are going to dice up, you're going to be using 3 small bell peppers. So it can be a green pepper. If you're really from New Orleans, you're going to go with your celery, your green pepper, and your onion as the trinity. But I went a little different on it. I did green pepper, yellow pepper, and you're going to put it into sizes roughly about this size. So just nice small dice, going on medium dice. Again, you just want it to soften up. You know, we're not trying to get any color on these. I did want to let you know my peppers were kind of big. So this orange pepper that I was hoping to use, it was a lot of pepper. These are big, so you're wanting the smaller size peppers for this. Okay, so we got our green pepper that's going in there. You got your onion, normal white onion. It's calling for a smaller onion, and really everybody else but me, okay, Logan likes onion too, but we don't really groove on onion that much in our house. So I just used, this is kind of a fairly big onion. I used about 1/4 of this. And I went heavier on the next thing, which was garlic. Now I ran out of like garlic cloves, so I just went ahead and I used some of this. I love having this on hand. You keep it in the refrigerator after you open it, and if you look on the lid, it gives you the approximate measurement. So if you are looking here, you're gonna need about 4 cloves it calls for in this recipe, and it's a 1/2 teaspoon of this for every clove of garlic. So you can put in as much garlic as you want. I know people that just throw garlic in, totally fine. It's all you. I went a little heavier on the garlic because I pulled back the onion. So that's our other vegetable. We have peppers, we have onions, and then the next thing that we are going to do is a jalapeno. Now, some of you like things super duper spicy. You can do whatever you want with this. I caution you though, if you want to make it hot, You may turn off some of the people that'll be eating it with you. If everybody is a chili head and they really want a hot product, great, go for it. Put 2 in. But you're going to look at putting in a jalapeno roughly about that size, and you are going to prep it, and you are going to cut it into just little bite-sized pieces. Yeah, I'm being brave. I'm doing this with a bare hand. If you have gloves, I recommend that you use gloves, because if I went right now and touched that and then rubbed my face, which you shouldn't do in coronavirus times anyway, if I did that, I would be in severe pain, okay? This is the type of stuff that they put in pepper spray, no bueno. So just be careful. When you cut it, you're going to cut off the top. You're going to slice it down the middle. And inside is going to be the seeds and the white part called the pith. We've talked about this in class before too. And in fact, my students can share some funny stories that we've had over the years when it comes to jalapenos and cutting them up. But you want to remove all of that. That's where all the excess heat is that might not work for you. So take it out, and you're going to do a process of just dicing it up and put it in. If you really want big bites of jalapeno in there, go for it. If not, it's all good. You can do it really tiny as well. Next up is going to be celery. And the celery is here. You can see it's just little bite-sized pieces. Trick about celery, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The leaves up here in the celery, that is where the good flavor is. So, oh yeah, do you really want to get those into this to get some flavor? Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to stir this, because once you get to the point where this is right now, you don't want it sticking to the bottom. If you can see it, it's starting to really thicken up nicely, and it's getting to the end game, which is what we're going to get to pretty quickly here. So, back to my celery. And you can use this technique for your peppers, you can use it for your jalapeno, but I wanted to show you with celery. So first of all, I call it giving it stripes. I wish I could get the computer down here to show you a little bit more, but I just can't because I'm flying solo on this. But when you do a celery or anything, such as, you're going to give it stripes so it looks like this, and then it's really super simple to just go ahead and do a quick chop, making your claw again, so you can really go in and get it done just like this. So I just go along, and you know I didn't do that for the leaves, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and chop it up. And you can always do the paper cutter. I call it the paper cutter, when you go back and forth kind of like this, and just get everything into the consistency that you would like. Okay, so I believe that covers all the vegetables outside of okra, and we're going to get to okra in a minute. The vegetables that would be in step 2. So step 1 was getting your meat cooked in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Step 2, take out that meat from that pan, add another little bit of olive oil, maybe another 2 tablespoons, depending on how greasy it still is. You still want to get that flavor in there. And now you're going to soften up your vegetables. Again, just to let you know, it was 3 small peppers. It was as much onion as you want, but I would say probably half of an onion this big would be fine. It's going to be your garlic, so about 4 cloves, unless you're a garlic head, you can put more in. And 1 jalapeno, diced up, and celery. Perfect. You're at step 2, okay? You're getting these really nice and tender. They're not getting brown. And you're ready to crush step 3. I say crush because one of the really good ingredients for step 3 is going to be crushed tomatoes. Now, I like tomatoes in my jambalaya. I just do. So when you're done with the vegetables, you're going to go ahead and you're going to add about 14 ounces of crushed tomato. Unless you're me, I got a 28 ounce can, and I put a little bit extra in. It gives it some moisture and some extra punch and flavor. You're going to need some really good chicken stock as well. Calls for 3 to 4 cups, but I got to tell you, I use a lot more as stuff cooks down. The key is, though, you always want to make sure that you're not putting cold stock in here, because that will shock the process of cooking. Nothing will move on. So what I usually do is, if I'm unsure if I'm going to need to add a little bit more, I go ahead and I take some extra stock like I did here. And mine's starting to get a little thick, and I still have some more cooking to do. I put this in the microwave safe bowl. And I'm going to add just a little bit more to my jambalaya maybe about a half cup, and stir it in. Hot to hot. Hot to hot. You never want to shock this with cold, because I'm telling you, people, it will get ugly. You'll go back to where it's just not, it's going to freeze it up, and you're not going to be really cooking. Your stove's going to be working overtime, and stuff's going to get overcooked and weird. So, cool. All right. Hot stock. So this next step, like we said, crushed tomatoes, chicken stock, and you are going to go with all of your seasonings. All of them at once. Now, need a little cayenne pepper in your life. Absolutely. So make sure you're reading the recipe that I posted. I believe it's like a 1/4 teaspoon. But again, a lot of this is to taste. You're going to need some dried thyme. 1/4 teaspoon as well. You could go a little bit more on that. You're going to need a bay leaf at this point in time. Bay leaves are really awesome. You don't want to chop this up. Please don't. Because it's really detrimental to your digestive system if you chop it up and get a little piece of it in there. Could tear some stuff up, hurt your throat. We don't need any of that. So just 1 bay leaf, and it's going to just give off its flavor to you when it's in there. You're going to collect it. You're going to watch me in a minute collect the one that I have in there, out of there. And the very last thing, can't live without it in my house. Can't. You're going to see I have a lot of it. I have 3 different kinds of Cajun seasoning here, people. It's for real. Now, you could go to BJ's, Target, Costco, and you're probably going to find this. This Bayou Cajun, really, really good. It's going to break it down. Most things have, you can grill with this. I'm looking to see, what do we got? What do we got? Garlic, spices, salt, onion, paprika, and red pepper. Not very helpful. Still yummy. So you could use that. And by the way, you put it in this stage, but then you can also garnish with it. If it's not hot enough at the end, you can always add more stuff. It's hard to take heat out. So that's why I was cautioning you on the jalapeno. Second one, Weber makes a really good one. This is New Orleans Cajun. I'm probably going to be using this. I'm going to grill some shrimp, I believe, sometime this week. I've even made Cajun burgers, and I've kind of mixed this in with ground beef. Oh, so good. New Orleans chicken, put it on there, put it on your grill. Amazing. This is my heart. This one right here. One of the first trips that I took with my husband, directly after we became new parents, he went to Virginia Tech, and they were in the national championship for football. And Grisham was maybe 10 months old. First time we ever left him, I think, overnight. And how many times does your college football team, well, unless you're a University of Alabama fan or something like that. Anyway, we didn't know if we were ever going to be able to see them in the national championship again, so we went. And it was in New Orleans. And I fell in love with all things New Orleans, from beignet to, you saw the muffaletta that I made before, at least my students did on the video. I went with my husband to the New Orleans School of Cooking, and I was introduced to this seasoning, which, yeah, I still have them sending me. You can see, they send it to me. This is just the best Cajun seasoning I love. I hate to advocate for anything, but if you're going to do this, really, it's cool to get something that's very authentic to bring that into your house. You can get it pretty easily. Amazon even has it. So it's called Joe's Stuff. Kind of funny. My father-in-law is named Joe. Yeah, and my brother-in-law. But Joe's Stuff. And Joe's Stuff is really, really great for this. Love it. They will not list a lot of the ingredients on here. Herbs and spices again. Paprika. That's about all they put. But yes, you're going to use your Cajun seasoning. Okay, so now you've got all your seasonings in. You're going to be using rice. Now, the rice that you're going to put in at this point in time too, it's calling for a long grain rice. Friends, you and I all know that right now at stores in this pandemic, it's not easy to find things, okay? And that's all right. It's okay. I happen to have found medium grain rice. I'm going to use it. Maybe it's not the exact thing, but it's still going to taste good, and it's still going to work good. So use whatever rice you have and just follow the recipe. I believe I used about 1.5 cups for this particular recipe. Okay, we have now reached the part where I am right here. So I have all this together, and maybe if I go like that, you can see. This is what your jambalaya looks like after approximately 25 minutes of cooking. Look at how my rice is puffed up. It's simmering along. I'm actually going to crank the heat down just a little bit. Remember, I still have my hot stock over there that I can use. So I have to cover it too for those 25 minutes. I have to cover it. It's not going to work right if you don't. So now I'm in the end game. Okay, I'm ready. My jambalaya is cranking along. I'm doing good. Have about maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add the meat back in. So you're going to watch me put this in a minute. The big question. Okay, I like shrimp in my jambalaya. I am the only one in my house that eats shrimp. Yeah, I think Logan's had it a couple times. He doesn't hate it, but my husband will not eat it, nor will Grisham. So I just went ahead. If you're down in New Orleans, you're going to get those really nice Gulf shrimp, and they're huge, and they have the shell on, so it soaks up all that flavor. It's amazing. However, I'm not putting it in there because nobody else is going to eat it. But I would put this in here now if I was doing it for everybody, if everybody ate that. So what I'm going to do with this is already cooked tiny little shrimp. I'm going to be a little sneaky, and I got another pot over there. I'm going to put some in some butter, and I'm going to kind of Cajun these up and throw this in mine as an add-on later on. So you can do that. You can make shrimp on the side and then cook it up and then add it to your jambalaya for your own personal plate. If you were going to do like a jambalaya bar where you just did jambalaya like this, that might be something pretty cool. On your jambalaya bar, if you decide to do it, you may want to do this because people have strong opinions. We live in the South here in Virginia. A lot of people love it. This is okra. You can find it fresh. I think it's towards the end of the summer. I don't know. I've always ever bought it frozen because frozen for me means that it was picked at its prime. It was flash frozen. All that good vegetable, lovely okra-ness is in there. So that's what I did. And all I did was take out some of my okra here. You can see, looks a little bit like this. And you can see my hands. So I cut off the top, cut off the bottom, right? And then I just did little okra coins like that. And it says for about a cup, but it's really up to you. People sometimes don't like it because it can get a little slimy when it's fresh. But, I mean, I always cook it in here and it seems to be fine. So at this point in time, we're ready. Okay, this is where you would add all of your meats, including the shrimp. This is where you're going to add your okra. So let's go. Let's do it. Here we go. Okra is in, people. I'm going to take the lid away. Okra's in. Let's bring this around town and let's stir it in. Now I'm looking at this and this looks like it may have absorbed a little bit more liquid than I would like. Maybe a little bit. So what's my solution? Hot stock. Let's do it. Put just a little bit in, just a splash. Ooh, yeah, that did the trick right there. Okay, so okra is now in. Let's add back in our already cooked meats. So all we're looking to do here, people, is add this in. Woohoo, yeah. And warm it back through. Now, I highly recommend, and I was barely able, we've been doing a lot of cooking here, so my dishwasher right now is full. But make sure you have a big enough pot or pan to do this in. This is just barely going to fit it. If the food is sloshing out over the sides, it is not going into your mouth, people. And you don't want that. You want to be able to enjoy your food without it slopping all over the place. So there it is. Can you see the jambalaya? Let's take a quick look at it. Let's let it all heat through. I'm going to put the lid back on just for a second. Yum. Dinner is almost served, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be amazing. So let me put the lid back on and hit you up with the final step over here. For me, I'm going to use a bowl like this. Some people put it on a plate. I like it in a bowl. But I'm going to have my spoon ready to go. And I don't know about you, but when I eat my jambalaya, I like to have a side with it. I went ahead and I made some cornbread today. I kind of got a little sad. This was my dad's. Before he passed away, I actually found this and like 3 other ones. Didn't know why he had them in his house because I didn't know him to be a baker, but very near and dear to my heart. So I was able to bring my dad into this recipe today, which was really cool. But I'm gonna bake off some cornbread. You can do this too. There's so many cornbread recipes out there, but I had a lot going on this morning, so I really took a shortcut, and I just used Jiffy corn mix. It's so simple to use, and everything's already measured for you. And I found it in every store that I've been in, and you can jazz this thing up any way you want. I would recommend, if you want to put a little bit of Cajun seasoning in that, perfect. If you want to make it cheesy cornbread, perfect. If you want to put some corn kernels in there to make it like serious cornbread, you can do that too. It's just a quick, easy tip, something that you can dip into and have on the side. So cornbread, it's ready to go. I baked it off earlier today. I'm excited. Cool. All right. Well, people, I think we're ready to plate, because this was a couple minutes of warming through. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is going to be some real New Orleans goodness. Yes, sir. As they say down there, laissez les bons temps rouler. I think that's what it is. It means let the good times roll. Okay, here we go. Let's plate it up. Got me a bowl. I'm gonna dig on in, put it right here in the bowl. I'm gonna get a hefty serving of this, because I know I'm gonna be chowing down. So far we got this. Now I want to talk about garnishing this, because everybody wants their food to look pretty and look good. You could put some more okra on top of this. That's fine. I mean, if you're an okra fan or you have extra of it, that's great. For me, you could do green onions too. I didn't have any in the house, and you heard about the aversion to onions in my house. So I'm just going to use some Italian parsley, just some flat leaf parsley that I have. I'm also growing some outside. I'm trying my hand at growing some herbs, and we'll see how that goes. Who knows? So far, so good. I protected it from the freeze the other night. So I was going to give you guys a little demo about a chiffonade. And you really take your leaves of whatever it might be. You could be doing basil, you could be doing parsley, and you just roll them up, and you wind up getting ribbons. Really nice little ribbons that you can garnish with. Yay. Now, the other thing we do in this house, because as I told you, we are addicted to Joe's stuff. I would taste it at this point, if you haven't made it before, and see if you want any more, but I'm going to go ahead, and I always do a little extra sprinkling of Joe's stuff on the top, just to give it a little bit more. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of saliva because it's making me really hungry right now. And there you go. We have jambalaya. So hopefully this inspires you, hopefully someday when we're not quarantined, to go visit New Orleans. It's such an amazing place. So many memories I have, not just the Virginia Tech football game that we went to, but we've been back several times since, with the kids as well as with my husband's family. My mom loves to go there too. So many cool things to do, so much great food, great culture, great people. And I'm excited that I brought back my favorite dish from there. So hopefully you'll make it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. All right, take care. That's it for this week's installment. Check us out next week. It's going to be Southwest cuisine. It's going to be amazing. We're going to make chilaquiles. See you soon. Bye.